Put your faith in the light.
Hello guys, welcome to another one of my videos. This is Lightblade. Well guys, this is not going to be a good news videos for Red Paladins. Basically, it is a bad news video, you know. I don't like to do these because, well, I'm a positive person, you know me. You saw me in streams. I always try to look at the positive side of everything, you know. But with Retribution Paladins, Blizzard doesn't know where to go, you know. We're always one step forward, two steps back, you know. Last week I was really happy because we got the news that we could extend our wings for over a minute, which was really powerful, you know, because basically the weakness of Red Paladins is that we don't do that much damage outside of cooldowns, and now having a cooldown that lasts longer is basically like having cooldown reduction. Eventually we will have a lot of uptime on our main damage cooldown. But now with recent changes we're losing that. We're not losing entirely that, but we're taking a nerf on that, and we're also taking a nerf on our utility side. Now let's go a bit more in depth of what these changes are. First of all, and basically the change that sparked me to do this video, is Blessing of Spell Warding is now only a Protection Paladin change. This is huge for Retribution Paladins. Basically they are removing another part of our utility that we could have brought, you know. It's the blow is harder for Red Paladins than it is, for example, to Holy Paladins, because I know they also are losing this because, well, Holy Paladins are healers. They are always in demand. You're always going to bring them, and they always find a way to get themselves into groups. This is not the same for Retribution Paladins because there's a ton of other DPS classes that bring so much utility that Retribution Paladins doesn't bring, you know. I think BLIZZ thinks we're overloaded with utility when we actually don't have what I call core utility, you know, really important utility. We have Bob, we have Bubble, we have Freedom, we can dispel stuff, you know, but that's not core utility. That's not going to get you into groups. Most of Retribution Paladins utility is to fix mistakes, you know. It's not proactive, it's reactive. So, for example, your tank's about to die, lay on hands. Okay, that's fine. But you can't plan to lay on hands someone, you know, and actually it's planning to use lay on hands is kind of bad, because then that means your tank's playing wrong, you know, or something like went really south and now you have to emergency heal him. So that's what I mean with core utility, you know, important stuff that we can do. Blessing of Spell Warding was going to be one of those big things, you know. When you saw Red Paladin in queue, you thought, oh yeah, maybe we can use that guy because he has two ways of soaking mechanics, magical mechanics. You know, he has Bubble and he has Blessing of Spell Warding. Let's take him. Now that's going out the window because I guess Red Paladins are not allowed to have nice things, you know. And now, well, they're removing it, and basically we don't have any new utility. From Shadowlands we got 0. In Dragonflight, we're basically the same class that we played in Dragonflight. I mean, in Shadowlands and Dragonflight, we gained nothing. We've been losing utility since Legion. In Legion, we had blessings. In BFA, we had better versions of our current auras. For example, Retribution aura in BFA was a passive that was so much better than the aura is now, because it also gave you damage reduction when someone else died, which was really good because whatever killed your friend probably was going to kill you too. So having damage reduction and damage on top of us was really good. But now we also lost that in BFA. In Shadowlands we didn't gain anything of worth, and in Dragonflight we're also not getting anything new as utility or important utility as Retribution Paladins. My only hope here is that we actually get something good from that slot that's now open from the missing Blessing of Spell Warding, because that node now has a spot to fill, you know. So if that place is good, maybe we get some nice utility in there, you know. You know me, guys. I always try to find something good out of bad, you know. But now let's go to the Retribution Paladin specific changes. Okay guys, so for the Retribution specific things, so basically they are nerfing our Holy Power generation, which is, to be fair, is a bit out of hand in beta. It's getting to a point that you can't even use your procs correctly because you always have Holy Power, so we're overcapping a lot. And for things like the new Exorcism ability, you're never really pressing that button because there was no spot for it in your rotation. You were better off just using another spender. So to address this, the first change they did is moving Zeal and Imperium Power to prevent stacking Zeal in Fires of Justice. These two compounded on each other, generating a bunch of Holy Power and reducing the cost of spenders. It should be fine now having to choose between them. Okay, the next one. So Blade of Wrath proc nerf. Okay, so this one is one of those that makes me tell to myself, did they think this through? do they know the implications of this nerf? Because they nerfed the proc Art of War by 50%. Okay, so this not only nerfs our Holy Power generation, but also nerfs our damage, because Art of War was also tied to Ashes, and the Seraphim proc talent, which is one of the most popular talents used in many builds at the moment in the beta. I'm really hoping that they realize this and do a compensation buff to the Seraphim proc, either like 50% extra duration or more stats. Because something has to be done for this one. It's just not fair to nerf like one talent because of the Holy Power generation of another. Okay, let's go to the next one. So this one is a nerf to Final Verdict, the proc of Hammer of Wrath. So this one is only for single target. AoE builds are not affected because you never take Final Verdict for those. So this is mostly done to tone down the super long crusades, similar to what I showed you guys last week. Although the nerf is not that big, so a 1 minute crusade now becomes like a 50 to 55 second crusade, and as I said before, it's only a single target nerf. Your AoE crusades will still be like between 40 to 45 seconds long. It's still a nerf though. Okay, let's go to the next one. So this last one is a Sanctification nerf. This is the Holy Power on Consecration Tick talent. So the proc rate nerfed by almost half on all target numbers. Still going to be a decent Holy Power battery, since we do drop 2 consecrations, so you have to remember that. And the concentration ticks are also hasted, so that means they happen more often the more haste we have. With the recent change of Crusade back to 2 minutes, in 99% of PvE scenarios, you're going to take Crusades, so we're still going to have a bunch of Holy Power coming from this hasted ticks of Crusade, even after the talent nerfs. You know guys, the change that hurts the most here is not the Holy Power generation nerfs, it's the utility one. And especially how it's done. They do us so dirty. They show us a thing that could be great, and then they rip it away from us. It's the long arm of the last situation all over again. Very little communication from the dev to the Retribution Paladin community, which is really disheartening. But knowing BLIZZ, they'll probably see something like this. We know having important utility feels good, but Red can't have that. And well guys, that's all for the video today. Subscribe if you like my content and leave a like in the video. Thanks for watching everyone.